Why would you speak that over yourself? You are not obligated. And for somebody to stand in front of you and have the audacity and the unmitigated gall to make you feel responsible, you need to check your friend circle. You need to check these people that's sitting around you. You need to check that, because I guarantee you that's not part of your piece. I guarantee you are doing it more out of I feel responsible than this is what I need. Because I guarantee you don't need that. I guarantee you. Yeah, I get a little hype when I start talking with my hands. Yeah, I guarantee you don't need that. But we got to be real with ourselves. Stop playing the game. Stop playing the fool, right? Stop playing the victim. Yes, my life was rough, right? But just because I was not who I thought I should have been at some point in my life doesn't mean that you get to treat me as if I'm dirt and I don't deserve life. You feel me? But y'all, we got to get out our own way. We setting our own selves up for failure. We're saying that you are right to treat me like this. Yeah, you can treat me like this because I did do that. No, you don't get to be judge and jury on me. You think I don't know what I did? You think I don't know? I just want to ask again. You think I don't know? But see, y'all, this is the part that I want you to catch. Why do you feel the need to bring it up to me every chance you get? Why do you feel the need to bring it up to me every chance you get? You got somebody in your life right now. You got somebody in your life right now that every time they come around, it's chaos and destruction. Every time they bring it up. You got somebody in your life right now. I want to say it again. Hold up, wait a minute. Let me put some boom in it. You got somebody in your life right now that probably ain't too far from you right now, that every chance they get, they want to tell you how wrong you are, how nasty you are, how bad you are, how you don't deserve this. And I want you to check that. I want you to check that. That's not part of your piece. That's not the piece you want. And it's definitely not the piece you need. So I want to say it to you one more time. There's somebody sitting not too far from you right now. Right now. That doesn't like the fact that you have made it. They don't like the fact that you have riches. I mean, blessings. They don't like the fact that you are okay with who you are. They don't like the fact that you let it roll off your back like water on a duck's back. They don't like the fact that you're okay with where you are right now. They don't like that fact. That's not the peace that you need. That's not the peace that you need. Hey, good morning, Miss Gwen. Good morning. Miss Gwen said, protect your peace no matter what. And that part. Chatty said, those are the ones who are not used to hearing no. Exactly. And y'all, we talked about this before on Titan in the Morning. No is a complete sentence. No. N-O, period. And we talked about not having to explain your no. I tell you no, but y'all, I'm going to tell y'all something. When I said no back in the day, I always came up with an explanation because that's what I have been led to believe I was supposed to do. No is a complete sentence. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, y'all. Look, hey, Tweety. Good morning. Good morning. Tweety said, I love the glasses. Thank you so much, Tweety. Said, good morning here. Hold on. Let's see. Good morning. Hope all is well. They bring it up all the time because they are ignorant and unhappy. Indeed. 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 So I did a little portion there where we were talking about, and I may have to take these glasses off because there's a glare, but hold on. So we always want to like talk about things and how you have full autonomy to say no and not have to explain yourself. And a lot of times we say no and then we go to explain why we're saying no, but no is a complete sentence. Like no is it's done. We have to make sure that we're just doing what we need to do. Y'all with me? Okay, y'all with me on that. So all right, y'all. Let me do it. Let me do it real time for y'all because I want to make sure that I am in this morning. I want to just say it to you one good time, right? Can I say it one good time? Good morning. Good morning to y'all. Good morning. I want to say it 3 times. Good morning. Look, y'all, I don't think that you have to do anything else but say good morning. Say good morning to yourself. Even if you feel that nobody is seeing you, nobody is hearing you, they don't get it, they ain't got it. I'm gonna take the glasses off, y'all. This ain't gonna work because I feel like I'm hot and all this other good stuff. But I want you to say good morning. And then when you're saying it, hold on, I want to make sure that because I feel a little funky fresh this morning. Okay. So when you're saying good morning, I want you to say it to yourself. You're going to say it to everybody else, but I want you to say it to yourself. Y'all with me this morning? That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And then we're going to put all the O's and R's and INGs in. Hey, Miss Gwen, good morning. Hey, Joshua J, I see you in. Hey, Pumpkin. Hey, Pumpkin said, good morning. I made it today. Okay, I'm glad that y'all are in and that y'all made it. Thank y'all so much for being here and all that good stuff. Uh-oh, wait a minute. I think I just did something. I don't know what I just did, but it popped up something. So ignore it if I did it. I don't know what I just did, right? I'm over here pushing on hey, and good morning. I'm over here pushing on TikTok and I think I clicked something or did something. All right, y'all. So let's do it this morning, right? Let's do it this morning. So TikTok, y'all, tippity tap, tap, tap the middle of that screen. Let me know that y'all are in. Let me know what's going on with y'all. Come on in and come talk to me. Tip, 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 tippity tap that middle of that screen. I have a goal of 300 roses this morning. If you want to go on over and help a brother out and do a little something, or if you just want to give a gift and do whatever you want to do, that's fine. YouTube, Facebook, Insta, Podbean, X, right? Y'all show me some thumbs up, show me some hearts, show me some love. But y'all come talk to me this morning. Come talk to me this morning. I'm gonna try to talk to all of y'all this morning here. And yes, I did mention TikTok shop, but I do have a shop, right? Yes, I do have the shop here, and I'm gonna put it into the comments for y'all that are not on TikTok. So somebody told me the other day, they was like, "Well, Titan, I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know, why you always saying TikTok and you never say me." So I got you, baby, I got you, baby. Yes. So I'm gonna pop it into the comments. TikTok already got the TikTok shop over there, so they can go on over there and do what they do and make it happen. And look, I'm gonna pop it up. Look, that's it right there. That's it right there. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Hey, good morning to you. Yeah, it's okay if you come and say good morning to me. It's all right. You ain't gotta be shy about it. You ain't gotta be shy. I talk to everybody. I talk to everybody. Now, y'all got y'all cups this morning. Now, when you go over to the shop, right? When you go over to the shop, there are some Titan in the Morning mugs that are over there. And so I ask that you get you a Titan in the Morning mug so you can sip with us in the morning, right? Sip with us every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Come on in and come sip with us. Okay, you with me? Oh, that's good. Mm. Ooh, when I tell you it's good, and it's good. Look, y'all, go on over there and do what you do. Grab you something. I know I'm going to get into the topic in just a minute. All right, y'all. So our topic today is love yourself right where you're at in this moment. So yesterday, you see I have the shirt on. Hold on, let me see if I can stand up real quick. I have the shirt on, R2A, Road to Advocacy, right? Road to Advocacy, HIV Advocacy Day at the Capitol. Okay. And so yesterday we went to the Capitol. We went to Austin, it's the capital of Texas. We went to Austin and we talked with legislators and we talked with reps and just trying to make sure that we are bringing the advocacy to them. Now, do we all know about certain things? Yes. Do we know this and that? Maybe not. Maybe not. But it's important to know what it is that we're actually doing. Okay. And so, y'all, I didn't prepare this. Hold on. I didn't prepare it, but I'm going to give y'all a little bit this morning. That's what we're going to do. Okay. That's what we're going to do. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm going to try to do it because I just thought about it. I would be wrong if I didn't give y'all at least some background on what we did yesterday. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I got it. Wait a second. Okay, y'all. Hold on. I'm coming back. All right, there we go. Woo, I'm back, y'all. I'm back. Look, y'all know how we do here at Titan in the Morning. We can do what we want to do when we want to do it because it's Titan in the Morning. We ain't got to do it the right way like people say that we should. We don't have to do it that way. We do it how we want to do it. Y'all with me? Okay, well, be with me then. Be with me because you know we go off the cuff like that. So yesterday we had Advocacy Day, right? And so, y'all, I'm going to share with y'all because I always feel the need to make sure that we share these things and we do these things. So Advocacy Day at the Capitol, right? Advocacy Day at the Capitol. And y'all, sometimes we have to truly understand what we're doing and why we do the things that we do, right? What is it for? Why do we do it, right? So I am with, I like to say with, but yeah. And I think I love these ladies and the things that they do. Hold on. All right. So Advocacy Day at the Capitol. I'm gonna see if I can bring it in for y'all. Advocacy Day at the Capitol. Right. Advocacy Day at the Capitol. And I didn't notice this, right? I didn't notice this yesterday, but I'm noticing it right now. I don't know if y'all can see me right up here. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm right up. Look, I didn't even know. I had to talk to Angela and them. I didn't even know. I was like, yes. Okay, yeah. So anyways, so I want to read you all a little something really quickly. And you know what, y'all, if y'all good with it, y'all let me know. But I want you all to be a part of what I'm doing, right? And so some of you are not here in Texas, right? And you may not know this is what I do, but this is what I do. But we want to make sure that people understand that we are out here advocating and doing what we need to do. Hey, good morning, Connie. Good morning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much, Pumpkin. I see you all. Hey, y'all. Hey, good morning to you all. Good morning. Exactly. Hey, YouTube. Hey, Facebook. Hey, Podbean. X. I see you over there. Insta. I got some Instas. Okay. Come on. All right. So this is what it says here, right? Okay. So Advocacy Day at the Capitol. The mission statement. Since the 81st legislative session, organizations have organized a statewide lobby day known as HIV Advocacy Day. The Texas HIV Advocacy Day is a day to meet with state policymakers to discuss some of the most important to the HIV community, including HIV treatment and prevention, HIV education, HIV criminalization, and funding for our AIDS Drug Assistance Program, ADAP. All right. Hosted by PWN Strike Force. The PWN Strike Force TSF, or Strike Force, is a statewide cross-movement coalition of people living with HIV, allies, and aligned organizations who are ready to act on the behalf of marginalized communities and change the face of politics in Texas. Our priority issues, right? Ending the practice of criminalizing people living with HIV. I'm someone living with HIV. And then ensuring there is adequate funding for HIV medication in this budget. Okay? Now, it's a whole day. We rode down on the bus. We did all of that. And so I want to give just a little bit of knowledge. Okay, y'all with me this morning? We're going to do some knowledge this morning because the topic this morning is loving yourself right where you're at in this moment. And I'm going to love myself right here in this moment. And this right here is a way that I can love myself by being an advocate and advocating for myself and for those who can't advocate for themselves. Y'all with me? All right, y'all. Show me some thumbs up. Show me some hearts. Show me some love if you're there. If you have any questions, let me know. All right. So this session, legislative session, we ask that Texas lawmakers fully fund, right, the Department of State Health Services, Texas HIV Medication Program, THMP, for FY 26-27. So that means 2026, 2027, including funding for long-acting injectables, right? Fully fund HIV state prevention services. That's services across the state, right, y'all? And y'all, sometimes people say, oh, well, that really doesn't have anything to do with us. It does. So if you are a friend of mine, if you are a loved one, if you are just a Titan in the morning individual, or you're just a Titan Capri experience person, then it affects you as well, right? Because I'm someone that it directly affects. You with me? And then pass House Bill, and I'm gonna say the number, HB 1459, relating to the conduct that constitutes the use of a deadly weapon for purposes of prosecution of the offense of aggravated assault or aggravated sexual assault, right? Did you hear the part about the deadly weapon? So what they're trying to do is criminalize us, saying that I'm a deadly weapon, right? I'm a deadly weapon because I'm trying to hurt or harm you by you contracting HIV from me. You with me? Now, some of you are probably saying, well, Titan, I don't really know. But think about this, right? Think about this. What if you were charged with a felony? What if you were persecuted, right? For just cutting someone, right? Dripping blood on someone, right? Or you don't even know what's going on with your own body, your own life right now, and then something happens. You understand what I'm saying? And so literally, I can be with someone, right? And this may be a little extreme, but follow me. I could be with someone, right? And that person could say that I tried to hurt or harm them or kill them, unalive them, right? Just by me being HIV positive. And the bill or the law that they have up is that they could criminalize me. They could prosecute me just for somebody saying, right? And y'all already know what's going on right now. Y'all see it in the news. But this is why we are advocating and lobbying and making sure. This is why yesterday was so important. All right, 3 more things, and then we're gonna get into the topic. But y'all, we're not rushing like that though. Y'all still with me? Okay, right? So we want to do this, right? For these reasons, PWN Strike Force also supports the following reproductive justice, harm reduction, and trans-inclusive bills that will protect Texans' health, rights, bodily autonomy, and dignity. Okay, here are 3 bills right here. Pass H Bill House Bill, that's what HB stands for, HB 894, relating to the acceptance of identification for voters who identify as transgender. Okay, that's one. I'm going to say it again. Pass HB 894. The second one, pass HB, again, House Bill 3174, relating to county and hospital district disease control pilot programs to reduce the risk of certain infectious and communicable diseases, authorizing fees. Right? Y'all got me on that? Related to the county and hospital district, hear what I'm saying? Disease control pilot programs to reduce the risk of certain infectious and communicable diseases, authorizing fees. Right? So we need to make sure that we are passing bills that are going to support and to help, right, these pilot programs. And then also to make sure you're looking at these fees, right, and everything costs, right? But how astronomical these fees are. So we got to make sure, you know what I'm saying? And then you heard the part authorizing fees. Like these fees right here, like, okay, what? How is somebody supposed to get help? How is somebody supposed to know if it's charged, you know, through the roof, right? And then pass SB, right? Senate bill, right? Pass SB SB 359, relating to coverage and provisions of abortion, contraception, and sterilizations under Medicaid and certain health benefit plans. So y'all, some people think that it's not necessary, right? Your beliefs are your beliefs. And I get it. But, and I hate when people say but I'm saying but this morning. Well, let me say this. Your beliefs, and when it affects someone, right, that you know of. Because you are able to sit in a space and a place, and I'm not directing this at you all, but this is for those that need a little clarity on why we do what we do. When you are sitting there and a friend of yours, a family member, right, goes through something like this, because right now it's not affecting you because you're not directly connected to it, right? But think about this. Think about, okay, you know what? We're going to take all the rest out. We're not going to talk around in circles. So think about me, right? Think about me. There are a lot of things that are going on in this world that affect me, right? But at different levels, at different stages. And so a lot of times people will say, well, Titan, that doesn't really affect you. Yes, it does. I have a mother. I have sisters, cousins, aunts, right? Friends that are female, right? That should have the right to their bodily autonomy. You understand what I'm saying? So those things affect me. When we go and we look at these things, we always want to make sure that we know why we're doing it. Titan, why did you go all the way up to Austin yesterday? So that I can advocate. I can be there. I can be part of the fight, right? I can make sure. And then also too, y'all, it was a time for us to come together as advocates and know one another and understand one another. We come from different places and spaces all around Texas, right? And so some things that may go on in Houston may not go on in the Rio Grande. You know, you get me? Some things that may go on in San Antonio may not go on in Dallas, right? Or Fort Worth. You know what I mean? Or Austin. You know, so we need to basically know, right? So today, love yourself right where you're at in this moment. And y'all, I want to thank you all for helping myself love me right where I'm at in this moment by listening to what we did at HIV Advocacy Day at the Capitol, right? Listening at what we did and how we did that. And that's only just a little bit, right? I'm going to start making sure that I give you all these things and let you all know. There is a list of representatives, right, that are in the fight. There are a list of representatives that sometimes may not agree with what you agree with. But what I want to say to you this morning is that don't give up. Don't give up. Keep on fighting, keep on moving. You know what I'm saying? Don't stop like the hands of time. Just keep moving and doing what you need to do. Sometimes you will get tired. Sometimes you will feel like it's not worth it, right? But then that's when you get with someone like myself, someone like, let me tell you who is over the PWA. Hold on, because I want to make sure. That's when you get with someone like Angela Hawkins, right? You get with Tana Pradia. You get with Deborah Samoye, Stephen Vargas, right? Jessamona Cartwright Briggs, right? You get with them, and then you're able to move forward and figure out what's going on, right? Or you can get with me, or you can come to me. I may not have the answers right then, right there, but we're going to find out because I know somebody that knows somebody, okay? But you can always get with me. I would love to, if you're here in Texas and you want to support, they have it, I think it's every 2 years, but they also have other legislative things that they do throughout the year. And then we can get together and we can make it happen. And thank y'all so much, right? Thank y'all so much. All right, y'all, hold on. I want to give y'all a little fan. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, give y'all a little fan. Thank y'all. Okay, I'm good. All right, now look. So we're going to get into it this morning, all right? So I'm still high off of the advocacy day yesterday, so I'm still going to talk about some things. But I talked to a couple of people yesterday, and we talked about loving yourself right where you're at in this moment, right where you're at in this moment. A lot of people tell you that they're loving themselves, but they're still beating themselves up because they are not where they figure they should be. They are not where they figure, the type of job they should have, the car they should drive, the house they should have. They figure they're not there. You with me? And I say to you to love yourself right where you're at in this moment, flaws and all. But whose flaws are they though, really? Because I believe that people will put their flaws on you and you will start to believe that they are your flaws and they're not, right? Because so if I love myself right now where I'm at in this moment, I'm going to say it one more time. Hold on. So if I love myself right now in this moment, I'm not worried about the past. I'm not worried about the future. Right now in this moment, I'm loving myself because I am here. I am living. I am thriving. I'm doing that. You know what I'm saying? So people will come around you and then they will try to talk down you loving yourself right now in this moment. You know what I mean? They will try to talk down to you about that. But here's the thing. You're loving yourself in this moment. And I'm not saying you don't need love from somebody else. But the first love you need is for self. Because in order for you to do, in order for you to be, in order for you to thrive, in order for you to live, you got to love yourself. You got to love yourself. Okay? Pumpkin says self-projecting is real. Their junk ain't for you. Indeed, it's not for you. But y'all, how much junk do we take on? Pumpkin said advocacy is the best thing we can do right now. Indeed, Pumpkin, indeed. Ann said, God loves you, and so do I. Indeed. And thank you so much, Ann. I appreciate that. And y'all, so here it is. Let's see. Wait a minute, hold on. Pumpkin, you said something? Oh, Pumpkin said, Medicare should be priority and free. Amazing how America is still not on that train. Exactly. Other countries, right? For you to have medical care, things like that, they don't charge you for that. That's free. You know what I mean? Like we do some things here like that. So I'm gonna try to be careful, y'all. I'm speaking on a lot of things, but y'all, they'll block me. They'll shut me down, and then y'all won't see me for a couple of days, and y'all will be wondering where I'm at. I'll be in somebody's clank. You know what I mean? All right, so let's do this, y'all. Love yourself right where you're at in this moment. Pumpkin says, take care of the mind, the body, and the soul, because that's our business. And that part right there. So y'all, I'm going to take it and I'm going to sprinkle it into the cup this morning. Y'all got y'all cups? Love yourself right where you're at in this moment. I'm sprinkling it into the cup and we're going to sip. Y'all ready to sip? Yeah, okay, then come on, come on. Wait a minute. That's good. That wasn't a sip. Hold on. Mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Mm. Yes. Look, I want to talk about loving yourself right where you're at in this moment. I want to talk about a couple of variations of loving yourself, right? Because people think that loving yourself in this moment, just like yesterday at the Capitol, there were people there protesting, right? There were people there protesting for rights, good and bad, right? Well, good and look, let me use our statements. Let me use our statements, good and bad for me, right? Because they're telling me that we shouldn't have that we are against God, abominations, and all of these things, right? But then also, too, they're still trying to take our rights that we already have in place. They're trying to roll us back. They're trying to take us back to the dark ages, right? There was a gentleman, well, there was a whole family, I think. I don't even know if they were a family, but they were all together. And y'all, I was standing there with my shirt on, and we were talking with people, just casually talking to people. And this whole family stood there and just stared at us, right? And it wasn't like they looked at us and was like, oh, they looked at us like, what are you doing here? And that's the way it came across. Now, I'm saying I statements because I don't know if the other people that were with me saw the same thing, heard the same thing, or felt the same thing. But I asked later on, not in that moment I didn't ask, but later on I asked, and they did feel the same way. But I was the one that was kind of vocal. But here's the thing, y'all. I know when to fight my battles. I know when to do things. I'm not never scared. However, I do understand that I'm cautious because I'm loving myself right in this moment, right where I'm at in this moment. And loving myself was not to get in a verbal altercation with these individuals because they came over to where we were, right? And like standing there with the line. And it wasn't so forceful because I'm telling you, at the Capitol yesterday, security was thick. Like security was out, right? Because they had all of these protests going on. And so these people came across to us and stood there. And all they did was stare, right? And I don't know if that was a tactic of theirs, but in a moment, it made me feel uncomfortable, right? Now, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. I'm not the person to run from anything, right? However, I said to myself that I'm here for something different. Because I gave the look like what? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? I had the HIV ribbons on the earrings, as you can see here, right? You can see here. I had that on. I had my red glasses on. I was making sure that I was there, you know what I mean? And I'm talking and I'm doing all of this. You know what I'm saying? Look, okay, Pumpkin talking about I'd have been like, oh, y'all want an autograph? I was like, hey, how y'all doing? Look, I didn't ask them for an autograph, Pumpkin, but I should have said, hey, how you doing? Hey, how's it going? And they said nothing. They just stood there and stared, right? It really, really, it makes you think that you want to love yourself right where you're at in this moment. And there are people in this world who do not want you to love yourself. Y'all stay with me just for a moment. In that moment, I asked, what could have happened, right? For you all to have such disdain for me and you don't even know me. What could have happened to you all or to your family? Because I don't believe those kids that were there, right, know exactly what they're doing. They're just following suit. But in that moment, I had to love myself right where I was at in that moment in a different way, meaning I had to take a step back and realize where I was and realize how the deck is stacked against me. And if something would have happened, who knows what that would have done. But first and foremost, I'm an advocate, right? In order for me to be effective, I have to pick and choose my battles in such a way, right? In such a way that I'm effective. I'm intentional about what I'm doing. I didn't come all the way to the Capitol to just get into it with somebody, you know, to get somebody to record me, for me to have something happen or to go to clank, clank while I'm at the Capitol. No, that's not what I was there for. I was there for Advocacy Day to talk to our representatives about legislatures and these laws and these bills, right? That's what I was there for. So we stood where we were. Well, we backed up a couple of feet, right? And they said, "Time, what's going on?" I said, "Just humor me for a second. Just humor me for a second," right? They all of a sudden pushed the children, right, out to the front, and then they started walking away. But they came all the way around to where we were and then walked away. I didn't drop my gaze. I stared them down like they stared me down. But part of me was like, what about these children? So y'all, okay, so something that gets me all the time, they always say that we're out for the children. We are trying to get the children. And I don't understand that, right? I don't understand why it always has to be something that's vile and nasty when we speak about, like, there are no children in our families. There's no, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have children. We don't have children ourselves. Like, we wouldn't want to harm someone. And what gets me is that they go to this place that is nasty, this and this about the children. But so you're telling me that we're the only ones, according to you all, right? These people that say this, we're the only ones that something happens with children? No, I don't think so. But I'm not here to go back and forth with you about that. But I did see on the little girl and the little boy that was in the front, this look of confusion. Like, I don't know what we're doing, but I know that my daddy or my mama say that we have to do this. I don't know why we're standing here. I'm not even looking at y'all. They were looking to go and get some candy and stuff like that. And I had some snacks and stuff. And part of me wanted to go over and be like, hey, but then again, I'm a black man in Texas. I am a black gay man who is HIV positive in Texas. And they don't want me to truly exist. So I couldn't do that, right? I couldn't do that. But my heart went out because those two kids looked as if they were confused about what they were actually doing. But here's the thing. The way that the parents, right, or the older individuals mean mugged us, the kids did the same thing. They followed suit. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know, but they knew that they had to do what their parents were doing or that their elders were doing, right? And I think that's so horrible. You're saying that we're after, right? We're harming, right? But you're harming, right? That's traumatic. Those children are going to grow up and try to assimilate into the world, and they're not going to be able to. They're going to find people that are like-minded, I'm sure. But here's the thing. When this kid, the little girl specifically, looked over and she smiled, but then she looked up at her parents or the people that were with her, the elders, because I don't know if they were all a family or not. She quickly changed that smile to a frown, like she mean mugged. And I'm saying there's no way that she knows exactly what that is because the parents had to have taught her that. You understand what I'm saying? Because she smiled at first. Because I'm saying hello to everybody. If you made eye contact with me, I was speaking with you, right? Because that's what I always do. I don't have a bad bone in my body. You know, I do believe you do what you do, but watch my shoes. Okay, I do believe that, but I don't have a bad bone in my body, so I don't feel like I have to do that, and especially for a child because the child is innocent in this, right? You know, and so the lady, the man that was, so it was about 7 or 8 of them, but the one, two, three, so 2 kids, a parent, I think, a brother or a cousin or something, because he didn't look like he looked like he's maybe 19, 20. I'm just going off of what I'm seeing, y'all. And then there was a person that was older, and then a lady that looked like an elder, right? And then there were 2 other men. I don't think if I counted 7, but anyway, 2 other men came up. And the way that they kind of like came up to each other and kind of got together, like, you know, like, what are you looking at? And then all of them looked at us like that as they passed. And then I was saying to myself, like, what is happening? The little girl looked so confused walking away. The little boy was like trying to console her. Like he had his arm like around her shoulder and was trying to bring her on because she kept stopping because we were like, you know, not that we were giving out snacks, but we had just came out of the deli. I came around to the deli, like, what is happening? You know what I mean? And then there were people that had signs about pro-life and this and that. There were people that had shirts on that said, women don't have a prostate. There was a lot of things going on yesterday. And so in that moment, I got to thinking, right, that I don't want anybody around me to have to think about their physical safety and that. But let me be real, because I'm going somewhere with this. Those individuals, those children and the kids and the young adults, right, I don't think had a avenue to love themselves right where they're at in this moment, right? Because in this moment that they're in, they've already been dedicated to hate and harm, you know, and ugliness. So in that moment, they could not be able to be, you with me? I don't know if y'all follow me on this, because I was telling my group I was with, I said, I'm tripping right now because the very thing that they say that we're doing, we're harming, we're hurting, they're doing to those kids. They're doing the exact same thing that they say that we're doing. The only difference is we're not doing it. If anything, I'm going to protect them. If anything, I'm going to jump in front of them. If anything, I'm going to make sure that they don't get no harm or anything like that, right? Protect them in the sense of let them be children, right? That's what I would be doing. But I digress in that. Hey, the king. The king said, good morning, Positive King. Good morning. Pumpkin said, here, I'm going to go back up, Pumpkin. Hold on a second. Let me go back. I seen you said it. So you said, meanwhile, they're indoctrinating their own children with hate and misguided info. Exactly. Because children don't know hate. They are taught it. We are born with bigotry. We're not born with bigotry. It's created, indeed. Jesus says, be as like the little ones. They don't judge. They don't know hate. They're taught it. And you're correct. And you're correct in that. The thing is, what we know is that, so we can look at it like this. You are born clear and free. I used to, so I'm going to say this real quick, because I used to wonder why kids or children, let me see, could see clearly, could see spirits, could see the beauty in things, could know when you are down and out, right? Because their minds, their energy is clear. I want to say clear. I don't want to say clean, because I don't think that it's dirty. I think it's clear. They have clarity, right? And I believe that as you are, my cousin, or I would call, she's more like an aunt, but my cousin, Stella, we call her dear, would say once an adult, twice a child, because children are clear. You're born, you learn things, you grow, you do things because let's say, for instance, you didn't teach a child parameters or boundaries. What would that child really do? Right? Where would they go? How far would they go? Would they greet everyone? Would they be happy to see everyone? Would they do that? And then once again, you become a child, right? When you are older, because you start losing your senses and things, you start, and this is kind of like speaking for like on my grandmother. My grandmother was still here with us, but because of the dementia, she lost a lot of things. She noticed some things, but she was almost like a child in that sense, right? She would say that she would see things, right? She would say that she saw a loved one. She would say that she would see energies like light and things like that. And so what I'm saying is that we are born into this world, right? A clean slate. Now we do bring things with from our parents because DNA is imperative, right? We get that. So we do bring things over, but spiritually, cosmically, right? We are open to what it is. It's like a nerve ending. It's open until the world forms and downloads all of this to you. You with me? And so that's what I believe. But I do believe that you can let a child be a child and understand. And stop putting on children. And I'm saying this and I'm using I statements right here because I had to grow up fast. I had to grow up fast. I couldn't be a child for as long as a child should be a child. Y'all with me? Y'all following me? And this is what I think that they're doing with these children. They are making them adults way too early, right? Traumatizing them because they have been traumatized, or traumatizing them because they believe that this is what should have happened. They believe that this is what should be going on. Thank you so much. Hey, Ricarius, good morning. They believe this is what should be happening. You with me? And so a lot of times people will say, oh, well, Titan, you know, it's about this. Why would they want to read to children? Hey, Andrew, good morning. Hey, Andrew. Andrew said, good afternoon from Thailand. Well, Andrew, I'm going to say good afternoon to you. It's morning over here, but welcome in, Andrew. Welcome in. I appreciate it. Over on Podbean. Good afternoon from Thailand. Good afternoon, Andrew. Look, y'all, look. It's afternoon in Thailand. Okay. Indeed. Welcome in, Andrew. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hey, Drew Simmons. Drew says, hey, Titan, I love the good morning greeting. Indeed, Drew. Hey, Drew, welcome in. So, Drew, because you love it, I'm going to say it one more time for you. Good morning. Good morning to you. Y'all, good morning. Y'all got to take a sip because y'all over here. Okay. Uh-huh. That part. Yep. Okay. Okay, look. So anyway, so I want to finish this because I want to so anyways, yesterday I was able to speak to people that I'd never spoken to before. Like I said, if you looked my way, I spoke. If you came close to me, we were in an elevator together, I was speaking. How y'all doing today? What's going on? Because I believe that there's always an opportunity, right, for you to advocate in certain ways and in certain things, right? And I don't believe that you have to be like that. I'm a social butterfly. I love speaking to people because sometimes I think that you don't know who your friend is going to be. You don't know if you're going to have a friend. Now, y'all, okay, I get it. Some people might not like you speaking to them. Some people might not like the fact that you are just jolly and loving. Some people might not like it. And that's fine. And that's fine. But what I'm saying is you have to really know who you are. So I'm loving myself right there in that moment. I'm going back to the family. And we decided to step back and let them pass and do whatever it is they were going to do. That was not a battle for us to fight because we still had to go outside and do that. And there were protesters on the steps of the Capitol and things like that. I don't knock nobody for protesting. If you believe that you have been wronged, your people have been wronged, your culture has been, if you believe that your very existence is that, then protest, right? Protest. Sometimes the physical act of altercations, I'm not really with, right? Because sometimes you are just by proxy, just here with somebody, and then things get out of hand and things get crazy. You know what I mean? So when I'm advocating, when I'm sitting here loving myself, right where I'm at in this moment, y'all, I'm already loving myself in that aspect, but I'm also loving the individuals that are around me or that are with me so that I can make sure that we have a safe and a brave space. Y'all feel me on that? And that's that, okay? Ann said, I'm going to be me regardless of what people. Okay, that part right there. Pumpkin said, universe will always put us exactly where we need to be in the now and live in the moment. And that part, Pumpkin, because I believe in spirit. I believe in energies. I believe that I'm not going anywhere, right, where I'm not warranted. But I also have to say this, and this is what I said to the individuals yesterday. You do have to be aware of your surroundings. You do have to be that. Because the reality of it is that you are being aware of your surroundings and knowing exactly what's going on. Paying attention to that inner, right? That feeling. Paying attention to that gut feeling. Understanding that things can happen, right? And we're not living in a world where things are just not happening. Y'all with me? So that part right there, you want to make sure that you are doing, you want to make sure that you are in, but loving yourself, right? Right where you're at in this moment is the key. Is the key. Right? Loving yourself right where you're at in this moment. So yesterday I talked to an individual while I was at the Capitol. And they said, Titan, I don't understand. Why can't I do? Why can't I have? What advice would you give? And I said, this is going to sound weird for some, because it was like 3 of us over, well, myself included, would have been 4, but in this little area. And I said, I had to practice loving myself right where I was at in this moment. Not worrying about what's coming, not worrying about what's around the corner down the street. What's going on right now with me? Am I acknowledging the love of self? Am I acknowledging that I need something? Am I acknowledging that I have been activated? Am I acknowledging that I have anxiety? Am I acknowledging that I don't truly fit in here and it's okay, right? What am I doing in this moment? I'm loving myself. Because we pack our stigma and our trauma with us. And y'all, if you telling me that you don't, I already know that you do, okay? I already know that you do, because we all do that. We all do that. And sometimes we do it unconsciously or subconsciously. I said unconscious. Subconsciously, to where we don't even know that we're doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's the part right there. We don't know that we're doing it. We're blaming ourselves. We are saying that we're not where we should be. We're doing all of these things, and there we are. And then Pumpkin said, you know what's crazy? If they also practice self-love, they wouldn't be out there with all that hate. And you're correct. Ricaria said, I try to put me first, but I feel guilty when I do. And then Ricarius, I want to say this because you brought up a good point, right? We always feel guilty, right? It's almost like you have stolen half the pie when you should have only had one piece of the pie. But I want to say this to anybody. So this person right, whoever this is for right here, this is for you, Ricarius, and I'm going to answer your question with this for you, but it's also for me, right? Sometimes you got to feel a little selfish, right? That's where that guilt comes in. Because here's the thing, y'all. You deserve your piece of the pie. And if pie is not your thing, you deserve your piece of the cake. And if cake is not the thing, you deserve you a pint of ice cream. If ice cream is not your thing, you deserve you a good old steak. If steak is not your thing, whatever it may be, y'all, you deserve that. And we feel guilty for it, but ask yourself, and this is just going to be a little what we doing here. Ask yourself, why do you feel guilty? Where did that guilt come from? Somewhere down the line, someone told you you shouldn't be so happy. Someone told you that you shouldn't be so proud. You were traumatized by somebody shutting you down when you were happy that you were that. When you thought, right, that you were beautiful or handsome or great at something, somebody, right, came in. The atmosphere was so thick with the negativity that it shut you down. Somebody told you along this journey that you don't deserve that love. That's what happened. Now, I don't know, y'all, arguing with somebody else, because I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying 9 times out of 10, something happened to you that caused you to believe that you have guilt in being happy. You have guilt in loving yourself. You have guilt and shame and hurt for putting yourself forward, for putting yourself first, for putting yourself at the front of the line where you should be, and rightfully so, because this is about you. How someone said, Marlene said on Saturday that you can be somebody that will set yourself on fire, right, to save somebody else. You will set yourself on fire. You will take the hits and the bumps and the bruises for somebody else. You will set yourself ablaze for somebody else. And you cannot sit in who you are and what you are. You cannot be loving to yourself. You cannot be understanding to you, but you will set yourself ablaze for somebody else while they stand there and watch you burn. And then when you gone, they move on to somebody else. So yes, it will feel selfish. You will feel guilt, right? But does that mean that you are a bad person? Does that mean that you shouldn't feel it? No, you're human, and those things are going to happen. But that's why we want to practice loving yourself right where you're at in this moment. I'm not worried about what's happening 5 weeks from now. I'm talking about right now in this moment. Can I make it? Can I do it? Can I go? Excuse me. Oh, y'all. Whoa, whoa. Can I be? Can I? Should I? Will I? Do I? Like, wait. And so, Ricarius, I want to say to you, because I had the same thing. I would have accomplishments and I did this and I did that. And people would say, oh, well, I did the same thing, or I got the same degree, or I went this and I did that. And then like somebody said to me, and I don't think that they meant it this way, because I said that I was 20 years positive this year. And they was like, oh, you 20? Well, I'm 40. I'm 45, or I'm 38. And I was like, well, you know what? I said, hey, we still here. You know what I mean? And I don't think the person meant any harm in it. But did you see how it was all of a sudden, I'm talking about who I am and what I've accomplished, and then somebody has to eclipse me with their accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? Because they saw that I got claps and snaps from when I said that. And so it may be even subconsciously that this happens like that. But I'm not in a competition with you. I applaud you for doing what you do. I applaud you for standing up and loving yourself right where you're at in this moment. But you should not let somebody else take your shine. You deserve love. You deserve to be in this moment. Love yourself. Love yourself. Wait a minute, hold on. Let's see. Okay, let's see where we at. Pumpkin says, Ricarius, we were not raised to self-love. Society doesn't understand this. And I'm going to say this. I don't think that it's a part of them not understanding, society not understanding. Because, yeah, I think that we have given, how can I say this? We have given this world an escape. Follow me on this. We have given this world an escape to where we feel if they're not knowledgeable, then it doesn't matter. And that's not what I'm saying about you, Pumpkin. I'm just saying in a general sense, right? But here's the thing. People will say all the time, right? They just don't know no better. They just don't know. But you knew enough to cause the harm and destruction and chaos that you caused. You knew enough to do the things that you are doing. You knew enough to call me out of my name or be derogatory towards me. You knew enough with that. So miss me what you don't have the knowledge. You know what you are doing. And if you've done it more than once, you most definitely know what you are doing. Because you've seen the reactions. You've seen the cause and the effect. You've seen it. You felt it. Trauma has a way of showing you what it is. So I don't buy that. See, it's one of those things sometimes that people say, oh, I'm going to go over here and knock this over. Boom. And I'm going to see what happens. So you see it the first time. And you get a little. Well, now I'm in another location. And I want to flex. So I'm going to go over and push this over. And see what happens. I'm going to push it. And I go over and I push it. It falls down. People react. But then somebody say, don't you do. What are you doing? Why are you over here pushing stuff over? Why are you doing that? Who are you? You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden, well, I didn't know. But the last 10 times you did it, you knew. But all of a sudden, you don't know. So I said, sometimes you have to be careful. Because when you're loving yourself right where you're at in this moment, people will try you. They will try you with the tears. They will try you with, oh, I'm so dumb, I don't know. They will sit up here and tell you, oh, I had no idea. But you knew. Because why did you do it? There's a reason for everything. There's a rhyme and a reason for everything. Why did you do it? And if in fact you just wanted to see what was going to happen, then let that be your truth. Let that be your truth. But I don't play with people like that. Miss me. Because I'm going to tell you something. I've watched you the last 2 times do the same thing to different people. So when you get over here in front of me, right? Or not watched you, but I've seen you do this. But when you get over here in front of me, now you want to start crying because I'm checking you. And I'm checking you because now you over here trying it with me. Now you didn't apologize to these people, but wait a minute. Didn't you apologize to the last person? Wait, didn't you try this over here with this person? Wait a minute. Didn't you shut them down? Wasn't you nasty? Wasn't you bullying? Wasn't you? Oh, whoa. Hold up. You're in the wrong sector. What you doing over here? You feel me? And then Pumpkin said, yes, they are mad because they cannot have what you have. The guilt is for you, boo-boo. Okay, that part. Ricarius says, oh, I came from a very toxic home. If you were proud, that was just being selfish. And you're right. And Ricarius, and I want to say this as I'm going through these comments. I'm getting to them. I want to say this because there's this thing in this world that we live in to where you cannot be too proud. And I don't understand that. Who am I offending by being proud? Think about what I just said. Who am I offending? Because I have to be offending you. I have to be rubbing you the wrong way for you to tell me that I'm being selfish. But who am I being selfish to? So I don't have the right to be happy, jump up and down when I accomplish something. There's a gospel song that says, encourage yourself. And it says, sometimes you're going to have to pat your own self on the back. Nobody else is going to do it. Sometimes you're going to have to acknowledge what you've done. Sometimes you're going to have to encourage yourself. That's weird when you are in a room full of 100, 200 people and they're telling you, you selfish. But wait, didn't this award have my name on it? Well, wait, so I get the award with my name on it, but I'm not supposed to celebrate me? So that right there. Pumpkin said, set your boundaries with them. Love yourself despite what others are barking. Indeed. Indeed. Thank you so much for the roses. I appreciate you, Precarious. It said, it's because they are living in their own trauma. They operate in negative vibration because it's all they know or lived in. And you're right, Pumpkin. You're right on that. It's not fair or right, but they will never see it that way. And you're right. And so, y'all, this is what I said yesterday. I told them that I don't let it slide anymore. You cannot come into my house, my life, and just run amok. You can't come into my glass menageries and just start breaking up stuff because you feel like it. So I'm going to call you to the carpet. Bruh, do what you do, but watch my shoes. Where you coming from? What you do? Whoa, 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 whoa. You were not invited. Because the last time you broke stuff up in here and you claim it was an accident. Oh, I didn't mean it. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that you had feelings. I didn't know that you were going to feel like that. I didn't know. But you just saw me have a breakdown. You just saw me go through all this crap. But I don't know. Really? Well, do you know what next? No, it ain't going to be a next time. But I'm going to show you this time. What you're not going to do, you're not going to do that. That's what you're not going to do. First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me because I should have known better because I saw it. I saw it. There won't be a third time. There will not be a third time. It's your life. Pumpkin said cognitive dissonance is real. They lack critical thinking skills. Watch Dr. Caroline Leaf. Indeed. And I get it. But see, y'all, here's something that I have. Look, I'm not telling you that it doesn't have a name. I'm not telling you that you can't, that it doesn't have a diagnosis. I'm not telling you that things are not that. But what I'm going to tell you is that I'm not going with the big words. I'm not going to tell you some highfalutin this or that. What I'm going to tell you is that you are out of line. Stop it. You already know. I can give it a word. I can tell you, you are being disrespectful. Your diagnosis is not my responsibility, but it's your responsibility when you do that. So y'all, I'm going to tell y'all something. I had a friend of mine that every time, and I think I've talked about this friend before, we're no longer friends, but at the time we were friends, that every time they stepped into a room, the atmosphere would change. They were always trying to disrupt something because they had their own trauma that they were trying to deal with that they couldn't deal with, right? But again, you try to help somebody, be there for somebody, but it's not my responsibility to diagnose you. You feel what I'm saying? And no, this is nothing against what Pumpkin said, right? I'm just going off of the comment because people will say this. People will weaponize their diagnosis or they will weaponize their mental health against you, right? Oh, well, you can't be mad at me because I have cognitive dissonance and I can't, oh no, you can't do that because, I have depression and I'm this and I'm that, or I'm, whoa. Wait, so you've been diagnosed, so this right here is harming or hurting someone. That's what I'm saying. Y'all, when I'm on here in the mornings, people will tell me all the time, Titan, block them. Titan, don't answer them. Don't talk to them. And I said, no, I'm going to answer and talk to them, and not in a way that is directly to them, but it's for my audience. It's for my people It's for my village, my tribe, and my gang, because this is real time. You hurt me in real time. You disrespected me in real time, right? Let's say that you are in a car and you are speeding over the speed limit and they clock you 2 miles back, but they don't come and stop you for 2 miles and then give you a ticket for something that happened 2 miles back. It's not effective like that. You with me? So that's why I do it in real time. But you don't get to play the fool in my face. You don't get to sit up here and do this and sit back and watch the chaos and destruction that you just caused because you feel that that's the way it should go. So we call it out. We make it sure. Pumpkin says, please direct messages me when you get a chance. I'll explain what I meant. Indeed, not a problem. Hey, Charlie, good morning. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Yes, you don't have to be around it. You get to choose what you allow. Indeed. Ann says, my granddaughter who lives in Atlanta is gay, and I love her as much now, and it's her decision. Indeed. Indeed. And thank you for that, Ann. And thank you for the comment, Pumpkin. I got you on that. So I don't know why people feel I've had this happen in the past. People will tell me, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right with me that you're gay. I wasn't asking you for permission. I wasn't asking you for that, right? You know what I mean? Like people will come up and say these things, but then here goes the stigma and the trauma. Now I have to ask for permission to let you know that you're harming me, that you're hurting me. I can't be proud of who I am. I can't live and love myself right where I'm at in this moment because you put parameters around me and what I do. I can't. That's the way the world is. They are telling us to be proud, to love ourselves, but not too much. Telling us to be big, right? To be, creative, but not too much. They're saying that you can love yourself, but not too much. Pumpkin says, heading out for work. Love you, gang. You all go out there and have a good day on purpose. Indeed, Pumpkin. Thank you so much. And I'll message you later on. Right? All right. So y'all look, I wanted to say this to you. Love yourself right where you're at in this moment. Love yourself right where you're at in this moment. And it may seem selfish. It may seem like everybody is against you loving yourself right where you're at. It may seem like that you don't deserve it, but you do. Love yourself right where you're at in this moment. Okay? Hey, 504 girl, good morning. Good morning to you. It was so good seeing you yesterday. It was so good seeing you. But yes, y'all, love yourself right where you're at in this moment. And then, so I want to say this because we talked about this morning, right? We talked about this. You will feel guilty. But you have to ask yourself, why do I feel guilty? If loving myself is the ultimate, if being who God made me to be, if being right where the universe placed me, if being in power and having power is what I'm supposed to have, why do I feel guilty? Because we already know that my power is not going to look like your power. My power is not going to look like that. I'm not going to look like you. I'm not going to live like you. I may not have the same money you have, the family you have, the life that you have. So I shouldn't feel guilty. I was told that don't nobody want to hear that. From a person where everybody wants to hear what you have to say, I didn't get it. Oh, but I got it now. So y'all, if you're going to feel guilty, if you're going to feel selfish and guilty because you are selfish and guilty. That's what you do. But what you don't do is feel selfish and guilty for somebody else because your light is outshining theirs, because you are bigger than they'll ever be. Don't feel guilty for that. And y'all, this is real talk. Y'all come in, like, follow, share, send this to somebody. Send this to somebody. Come on in. Come on. Hold on. Let me sit first. Yeah, that's what I said it. I had to sip a couple of times. Hold on. 504 girl say, we survived yesterday. Yes, we did. Okay. And you can't wait for me to upload the pictures. Me too. So I want to say this to you all. Ann said, bottom line is don't let people instigate you for who you are. And let me tell you something. So I'm going to roll it back. And this may be a hard pill to swallow for some, right? But I'm finna stand 10 toes down in this. Y'all, time is over. Time is over for you letting people tell you, right? For you letting people tell you that you are less than. If you don't accept it, it doesn't have to be. Stand up in who you are. Stand up in who God made you to be. Stand up and be exactly who you are, unapologetically, right? I know that we have to live in this world, but other people don't get to dictate who you are. They don't get to talk down to you and be mean and nasty to you just because you are who you are. They don't get to sit here and eclipse your son because their son didn't go up and out and shine for everybody to see. They don't get to dim your spirit. Are y'all with me this morning? So if you're going to love yourself right where you're at in this moment, come here. No, don't you leave yet. Come here. If you are going to love yourself right where you're at in this moment, you do it full throttle. Don't you play on that gas pedal. Don't you push and then let up and push. You push that mug all the way down and you go ham. You only have one life. And they don't get to crap on your life so that you feel less than, but they can feel bigger. They can feel bigger. And no, when I tell y'all my prayer is that my light, hold on, let me see if I got my, look, I'm gonna read my prayer. It's a simple prayer that I have. And it says here, hold on, let me see. Did I have it in here? Hold on. I don't have it in here. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. So I'll give you the gist of it. Because, I talk to my God the way I talk to my God. I said, Lord, God, please, right, allow my light to be so big, right? So big. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, Ann. I'm trying to get your comment. They've been flagging my comments. I don't know what's happening over here. But anyways, so Ann said, each individual person is made by God's hand in his own way. Amen. Indeed. But see, here's the real part. I'm not saying that wasn't real, Ann, but I was saying, but here's the real reality, right? In this world, we say God is all knowing, all seeing, all being, everything. God made you, right, the way that you are, and that is special in itself. But we know in this world that you are not special, right, or you are not individual unless somebody says so. So I can't come out here and tell you that I'm a Black gay man who is HIV positive, and I believe I was born this way, and God made me just the way I'm supposed to be, without people telling me that I'm wrong, that I'm nasty, I'm an abomination, I'm this, I'm that. You with me? So let me say what I got to say, and then I'm getting out of here. Time is out. Y'all stop being, oh, I apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me step back. My prayer is that my light, which is my spirit, My light is so big and luminous that you cannot deny it. You can see it from far away. So big and so luminous, right? That I got to squeeze through the door because it's so big. I got to walk through the door sideways because I can't walk front because my spirit is so big. You with me? Y'all follow me? Hold on before you go. That is so big that nobody can deny it, but it's so powerful. It's so strong that it keeps out those that mean me harm. It allows those individuals to come in that need to come in, that need to get close, that need to be there, because I believe we all have a message. I believe we all have purpose. But y'all, sometimes we are praying for the other people when we should be praying for ourselves. We are praying for them to be good when we should be praying and fortifying our spirit. We should be praying and fortifying our light. We should be putting on the armor of us, right? It should be on us, not for them. Because what we do is we leave ourselves open and then they come in. And then they come in. And they run amok. And then you wonder to yourself, well, how did they get in? How did they do it? They got in while you was over there with your face down, hands and praying for them. They got in. And y'all, you know what? You may not like it what I'm saying this morning, y'all. And y'all know I'm not trying to be mean or nasty, but y'all, this is real. This is real. People will shut you down. People will make you feel like you are less than, when all you're doing is living your life, the one that God gave you. You are sitting here living your life, and people will tell you that you're wrong for it. And y'all, I'm going to tell you, trauma festers trauma. Because they just put that trauma on you. They don't like the way your light's shining. Titan, can you dim your light? It's hurting my retinas. Titan, can you dim your light? Because the side of my face is burning. No, don't stand so close. Move out the way. Because my light is supposed to shine like this. You feel me? That's how my light is supposed to shine. Those are the gifts that were given to me by the Almighty, by the omnipotent one. Those are the gifts that I came into this world with. I had to find them. But I slipped up. Because while I was praying for you over here, over there, over up and around, you got in through that side door. You got in through that back door. You got in through that doggy door. Because I wasn't paying attention. Because I thought I was doing the work that I was put on this earth to do. So I was praying for you when I should have been praying for myself. When I should have been making sure that I was good before I went out. Right? You with me? And said, very much so. Hey, Ricarius. Ricarius said, hate to run, but my work break is over. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Ricarius. I love you. Love you. Love you. Thank you so much, y'all. All right. Until next time. Thank you so much for being here. But look, I want to say this one last time. And I want to say this because my spirit is telling me that somebody needs to hear this, right? Pray on your spirit. Pray on your house. Pray on your life. If somebody is around you right now and they're telling you that you should not shine so bright, if they are telling you that you don't deserve the gifts, they're telling you don't deserve the awards, they're telling you that you are too proud, you got to tone it down, you better watch them. You better get them up out of your life because they don't mean you no good. I pray on my spirit that it's big and lustrous, right? And it shines so bright because I believe that I have purpose here on this earth. Regardless what other people think, right? I have purpose and I know this, but I got to be careful. I tell them to move on. You're right. Move on. And you're right about that. And move on. Like, we don't have time for this. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I always tell people. Be real with me. Be real with me. Because you're not going to do me no never mind. If you sitting over here, right? But I got to be on point. I got to be on game. I got to be able to see, hear, feel, and smell what you're doing. I got to use my senses. But my biggest one is my spiritual. My spirit goes out before me. Hey, all right, Titan. Don't fool with that. You can get into a conversation with this one, but you got to be careful because they sneaky. They got something up their sleeve. Titan, don't go over there because that's not going to be good for you. You're still trying to heal from that trauma, and that's not going to be good to reintroduce you to that trauma. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, they got this here. You know what I'm saying? Or they got this. I rely on my spirit. I'm obedient to the spirit. If the spirit tells me not to go, not to do, I do not do it. I will not do it. But if the spirit tells me go forward and be fruitful, I'm doing just that. But be aware of your surroundings. Be aware that loving yourself right where you're at in this moment sometimes will rub people the wrong way. You're too happy, Titan. Why are you always happy? Why do you do this? And I'm saying, well, that's just who I am. That's how God made me. God didn't make you. God didn't make you gay. God didn't do this and do. Wait, hold on. You asked me a question. I'm giving you an answer. How you going to tell me about my life? How you going to tell me who? You know what? That's what I'm saying, y'all. Love yourself right where you're at in this moment. I didn't say it was going to be easy. I didn't say you were not going to have pain. I didn't say you were not going to go through some things, some trials or some tribulations. I didn't say that. What I said was love yourself right where you're at in this moment. I can acknowledge the pain. I can acknowledge the trauma. I can acknowledge the stigma. I can also acknowledge that I'm human and things happen. But what I'm not going to do is let you take me out. I'm not going to let you take me off my game. I'm not going to let you get me off purpose. Because I believe that I have put on this earth for a purpose. Have I let it happen before? Yes, I'm human. But do I acknowledge it now? Let me tell y'all about that spirit. That spirit said, Titan, you see it coming? I said, yes, spirit, I see it coming. The spirit said, what you gonna do? I said, I'm not gonna deal with it right now, but I got something for when it get into my vicinity. When it gets into my line of sight, I got something for it. Right? Well, Titan, you know this is not the battle, right? For you today. Right? You save that for the war. So don't you use that for the battle. Don't use that for the battle because that's for the war. You be smart in what you're doing. Okay, I got you, spirit. I got you. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all, everything doesn't have to be a physical altercation. Everything doesn't have to be a verbal altercation. Sometimes silence, right, in the situation where you're trying to diffuse it is the best thing, right? But then sometimes silence in a situation where you can't diffuse it, where it's just going on and on, can be violence to someone else. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to know where you're at. Okay, that's not for me today, but tomorrow, you know what I mean? Or this week, that's not it. But when I have my next event or when I go sit at the table with somebody else, I know this is not going to happen. I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to talk with you all. We're not having this again. We're not going to do that. I curate a safe and a brave space. That space the other day was not safe nor brave. So what are we going to do to fix this? Well, Titan, there's nothing that we can do to fix it. Well, I'm not coming. I'm not a part of this anymore. And y'all, that's okay. But we got to understand where we're at. If I'm going to love myself, I can't love all of myself, then I shouldn't be there. If I can't stand up in who I am and be who God made me to be, I should not be there. And I'm okay if it caused some problems and issues with the other person. Because it shouldn't, right? You should understand where I'm at. I would never do anything to hurt you, so I'm not going to just drop out because of this. I came to the table and I said, what can we do? Because that was not saved nor brave. You said it's inclusive, but we were hurting and harming individuals that were there. So what do? Oh, Tight, we can't do nothing. All right, then. 2 fingers and 1 word. Peace. I'm out. I'm gone. Unapologetically, I'm gone because you didn't take in consideration who I am. If I'm telling you that there's a problem, right? Even though it may have been with someone else, or it may be a problem with someone else that identifies differently than me, I'm in the space. So it is my space as well. So if my people that are in this same space are feeling some kind of way, then I'm feeling some kind of way. Because I told them that it was a brave and a safe space. I told them to come on in so we can be together, we can fellowship and break some bread, and it's going to be good. And then they get that, and it's caca? Nah, not on my watch, not on mine. Do it on yours, but not on mine. So I'm going to have to sever ties with you. I'm going to have to let that be the thing, because I can't do it, because you just told me that you were going to do nothing. So you just took how I felt and threw it out the window. You just took how our people felt, my community felt, and you threw it out the window. Because I'm community. Y'all, I can't do anything for anybody else if I'm not a part of it. So if I'm a part of it, all aspects of it has to be good. So when I do invite the other individuals, they don't have no issue or no problem. Safety first. Safety of your mental, safety of your emotional, safety of your spiritual, safety of your physical. Because I'm loving me right where I'm at in this moment. And all of those things matter to me loving myself. All of those things matter. Mm-hmm. Tweety said, thank you, thank you. I have learned a lot this morning from a very wise man, in which is you. Oh, thank you, Tweety. Look, y'all, I'm just trying to, I just want to live my life. I just want to be happy. I just want to be who God made me to be. I want to do and be where the universe placed me. I want to be there. And so I'm telling you this morning, love yourself right where you're at in this moment. And if anybody is around you that's not loving you right where you're at, if they don't hold you close, if what's going on with you doesn't matter to them, 2 fingers and 1 word, peace. I'm out. I don't have to do this with you. My life is too short. I have lived a good life, right? There have been things that have happened. There's been some trauma and some stigma, but overall, right, my life has been good because I've had to make it that way. I've had to weed out some people, take some people out. You know what I mean? What? Hey, T. Williams. Hey, Tori. Good morning. You going to say hi to me this morning? I see you joined. Good morning. Hey, Charlotte. Tell me, be you, new hire. Indeed, new hire. Hey. I need to lay eyes on you soon, Charlotte. Okay? But y'all, I'm saying this to you all. Love yourself right where you're at in this moment. Right? Love yourself right where you're at in this moment. That's what we're doing. T. Williams said, okay, yes, good morning. Good morning. Miss you as well, T. We need to lay eyes on each other soon. I think I'll be in your neck of the woods in a couple of weeks. I'll let you know. We need to lay eyes on each other soon. And so, y'all, as I close out this morning, I just want to say that loving yourself right where you're at in this moment, right, it gives you freedom. It gives you life. It gives you honor. It gives you the ability to be able to love yourself right where you're at. I don't need all these walls. And I can bring them down. I am who I am, and that's all I can be. God didn't make a mistake. You're supposed to be here. But none of this will work if you can't love yourself. And that person, hold on, because I'm going to answer the question from earlier. That person that's on the side of you, That person that's sitting there telling you, that person that's telling you that you're not going to make it, you shouldn't do it, I wouldn't do this, you shouldn't be so happy, you shouldn't be so proud, you need to tell them to kick rocks. You need to tell them to kick rocks. Walk them to the front door of your life. Walk them to the front door and tell them bye-bye. Bye-bye. Arrivederci. Adios. Go, go, go. Tell them. You're going to feel some kind of way in the first moments. You're going to feel some kind of way because you're going to miss that person. But loving yourself right where you're at in this moment, you can't have that toxicity around you. You can't have people around you that's going to take you down. You worked hard. You crawled. You scraped. You did all of these things to get to where you at now, and they want to tell you that you don't deserve to celebrate yourself? Ah, yeah. Mm-hmm. That part. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. But look, TikTok, y'all, tippity tap the middle of that screen. Let me know that y'all are in. Y'all know that it's Titan in the morning every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's me. Come chill with me. TikTok, y'all go on over to my TikTok shop and grab y'all some Titan in the morning merch. Grab y'all some Titan in the morning mugs. I got socks over there. I got candles over there. I got t-shirts, all that good stuff. Going over and grab it. I got tote bags, all of the good stuff. And then come on in and do that. YouTube, Facebook, Insta, Podbean, X. Y'all going over. I put the link in the comments. Going over to the shop and grab you a little something if you want to celebrate a brother. I appreciate that. If you want to give a brother a little love offering, I appreciate that as well. But y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate you. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, it's me. It's Titan Capri. Now, y'all, I am Titan Capri on all social media. All you got to do is put it into your engine and start it. Vroom, vroom, and come check me out. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Y'all tell a friend. Come on over. Come on over. Now, look. Yes, indeed. Y'all tell a friend to come on over. Because what we do over here, I'm unapologetic about who I am. I love who I am. I know this is where I'm supposed to be. I know that God made me this way, right? And I know that I am on purpose, right? I'm on purpose. So love yourself right where you're at in this moment. You will have other moments, but you will not have this moment. Y'all come on over. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Y'all take care. Y'all be blessed and do all the things that you need to do to love yourself right where you're at in this moment. And I'm telling you now, now look, no, Kevin, look, I'm saying that if they over here with you and they ain't serving you, no, that's not selfish. See, that's what we talked about earlier. Y'all, we finna get out of here. It's not selfish to love you, right? Y'all, how are you going to make it? How are you going to be? How are you going to survive or thrive if you don't do it yourself? So I'm not supposed to be happy that I made it. I told somebody the other day that I am a Black gay man who is HIV positive and I'm celebrating 20 years. The first thing that happened, someone said, well, why would you celebrate something like that? Because, ooh, I almost said the thing. Because I'm still here. I'm still here. The doctors told me that I was not going to make it. They told me that I was dying. You feel what I'm saying? His vantage point, whoever this person was, vantage point is not mine. You with me? Your story is not mine. My story is my story. You feel what I'm saying? So yes, I say that I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating life. I'm still here. Still doing it. Still going. Still learning and loving and doing all the things that I do. But at one point in my life, I wasn't supposed to be here. A couple of times things have happened that could have took me out. But I believe that I'm on purpose. So love yourself right where you're at in this moment. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself, right? And love yourself right where you're at in this moment. All right, y'all. Until next time, y'all be good. I love y'all. Indeed. Always. So someone said, can I talk to you? Y'all know this is an inclusive space. We're all welcome. But what we say, y'all, do what you do, but watch my shoes. You can come on in here and we can chill and we can talk about it. We can have some healthy banter, but do what you do, but watch my shoes. Don't come in here stepping on my shoes because we're not playing that game. We're not playing that. All right. I love y'all. Until next time, y'all be good. Look, y'all, I started it up and look, y'all got me crunk this morning. Hold on. Let me make sure.